Hi, I'm Athena Barry, aka Crystal Reiki Healer, and today we're going to go over how to do a fire ritual. Now, I've made some posts on this, and you followed the directions, and you still needed a little help, so here I'm going to show you how I do mine, and hopefully this helps you create your own magic. So let's get started. So to begin, you'll want to make sure you have all of your supplies. I really like to use an intention candle because it just brings that extra bit of magic to my fire rituals. I have another video all about intention candles. If you want to check that out, you're welcome. If you decide not to use an intention candle, don't sweat the small stuff. It's totally fine. What you will need for sure is a fire safe pot. Some people like to use glass or jars. I don't recommend it. Anytime you're working with fire, you really need to respect that element. So this one is what I always use, and this is, I think it's just a butter melter. You can also use a Turkish coffee pot, which are nice, or even a small saucepan. The other thing you'll need is some Epsom salt. You should always have this, by the way, in your bathroom anyway. It's great for soaking and for muscles. It has magnesium in it, which you'll see in a moment gives you that really pretty blue flame when it's mixed with the alcohol. If you don't have Epsom salt, it's totally fine. You can use table salt, you can use pink Himalayan salt, you can use gray sea salt. Really don't sweat the details. Some people say it has to be a certain way. Let go of all these rules. We're creating your magic, and you're sending out to the universe what you want. So leave the rules aside. Then of course you'll want a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I don't recommend using real alcohol, as in vodka or one of these. They don't have a high enough alcohol content, and your paper will just go out. I like to use rubbing alcohol that's about between 70 and 90 proof, or 90%. Those work much better, and then you'll get that pretty blue flame. You don't need that much. So very important, when you're working with something like alcohol, which obviously is highly flammable, you want to use a small amount. You're really just using enough to soak your salt. Of course, you'll also want, and this is probably one of the more important things, is your paper and pen. Now, it doesn't have to be this big. You can use a little tiny piece, whatever size you want. I like to use blue ink. It really helps with that throat chakra, bringing clarity, and speaking your truth. So whatever your goals are, this kind of gives me that clarity and really put forth what I mean to say. I did a whole post on manifesting with color. Actually, I'll put a link in it for you at the bottom here, so you can see what color maybe you want to work with. Green for money and healing, red for power and lust. There's all kinds of ways you can use color for your manifesting. In this case, I'm using blue. So another part of a fire ritual that I personally like to add, and I don't necessarily do this every time, but I really like it for especially my new moon rituals, is where you're writing your wishes. So in this little dish here, I have a bay leaf, and I have just this little bitty one, and this one is so great. You can write down one-word wishes on here. So love, wealth, health, happiness, but keep it small, keep it simple, and I will show you what to do with this in a minute. Another thing we can use, since we are in the middle of fall, although if you're watching this in summer, that's totally okay, but get a hold of some pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds, now yes, they're very small, but they carry their own magic. This is one from my own pumpkin for this Halloween. So because our Halloween was on the super blue moon, and all the magic of our full moon, the first one in 76 years, I decided I should hold on to some of these because they are extra magical. So you can go ahead and just write a symbol on these. This one you can write words if you want. I prefer to write symbols, like a heart for love, a money sign, luck. You could do a little clover, whatever works for you, that's what you should go with. And then I like to use wood matches for my fire rituals, but if you want to use a lighter, again, totally okay. It's all about preference. I just like that it kind of brings in that earth element with the wood. So yeah, choose which one works for you best. So you'll want to take a moment to write down all that you want to release. For the full moon, I love this one for releasing. For the new moon, I love this one for manifesting. Now again, there are no rules. So if you want to do both, like I happen to be doing today, I'm writing everything that I want to release at the top, and then everything that I want to bring into my life at the bottom. And really the idea behind that is you have to release the old to bring in the new. So if you are going to do banishing and wishing at the same time, make sure that you write down what you want to release first, because you want to make space for that new. So then once you've got your nice little fire going here, and you can see it's very small and we have like a nice blue flame to it, you want to take your paper and everything that you wrote down, and you want to fold that up, right? So fold it up so it's small. This is for two reasons. One, you don't have like ashes flying around, so you're safe. Oh, important, you always want to do this outside or next to an open window. Again, you want this energy going out into the universe, not trapped inside your home. Now let's see if we got some of that blue flame here. You can see here. And see how when you use a pot and you have a handle, you can totally pick it up, move it around. I mean, I don't recommend walking with it, but you know, you have options versus trying to grab something and burning your hands. So I'm going to use my intention candle to light my paper. You don't have to use an intention candle. You can pop it right into the fire, but since I'm using one, I'm going to light it with that first. And then you want to go ahead and just drop it into your fire. And it gets a little bigger and it's nice. And just take a moment to give thanks. Take a moment to acknowledge what you are releasing out of your life. Take a moment to allow space for your new, for your wonderful, for your manifesting. This is a good time too, while this is burning, to get your bay leaf. I went ahead and wrote down what I needed on here, which I figure I always need and everybody needs, which we have love, health, and wealth. And then with bay leaves, be careful because these things burn pretty fast. So again, I'm gonna light it with my intention candle. Well, let's see if I can get that going. See, it kind of sparks. And I'm gonna drop it into my pot and let it burn right in there too, and let my wishes fly up and out to the universe. Again, with my little pumpkin seed, and I drew a little symbol of love, which I always think love is the highest vibration, so why not? We need more love in our world. And with this one, you just, a little token of thanks, pop that into your fire too. It's still going, and that's perfect. And we have just done a fire ritual. So once your fire has gone out and you have this little pot of ashes, a lot of people ask, okay, well, what do I do with the ashes now? Well, there's a couple of things you can do, and choose the one that works best for you. So you can dump them in the toilet and flush them. The water element is always great. Just make sure any of your ashes or pieces are small enough. You're not going to clog anything. I also like to add my ashes, be sure they're cool, to the earth. That could be to a plant, that could be to the dirt outside. I prefer not to use wind energy for the ashes, only because if there are any embers in there, I live in a fire zone, and for me that would not be safe. But if you live somewhere that's nice, just make sure your ashes are all the way out. Another option you can do is get your moon water that maybe you made with the last full moon or new moon, and add a little bit of that to it. And then again, you'll just swish around your ashes, and you can add it to your plant, you can add it to the toilet, you can dump it in the trash. Just the main thing is you want to make sure that it is outside. And again, that's all about letting this energy release out into the universe. You don't want it stuck in your house. And I think that about wraps it up for our fire ritual. Come back and I'll show you another one on how to do this with water for those of you who don't like to work with a fire element or prefer just something to change it up. Now remember, this space that you are working on, this is your sacred space. It does not need to be this fancy. It does not need to have all these crystals. It does not need to have anything special. I'm creating this because I do it a lot, and I also want to show you and make it special for you. But really, it can be like a little corner of your room. If you have a window next to it, do it there. Step outside on your patio, step outside on your balcony. Do something that makes it fun, makes it special. And I hope that answers all of your questions for fire burning ritual. If you have any more I haven't touched on, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, thank you for watching. Blessings.